Hey, how's it going? Just doing a live autograph and fan mail Q&A. Um, got a lot of people who enjoy watching the videos of getting fan mail replies back in the mail. Um, the process is it's a pretty fun thing to find somebody who you want to write to, like a celebrity that you admire or an artist, and reach out to them and get a response back. And I'm really happy that I'm able to share these kind of experiences with you guys. So I'm curious if anyone on here has ever written any fan mail or gotten a response from a celebrity, or maybe at a convention or something like that, met one of their favorite celebrities and had an interaction with them. Um, Now, personally, I'm sending out a bunch of fan mail to some of my favorite celebrities this week. Mostly, I'm trying to do via venue, which is where you write the celebrity while they're on a movie set, and there's a couple of really good productions that are going on right now. Um, so right now, let's see who I'm writing to. One of them that I'm interested in is for Fallout. So Amazon is doing a Fallout live action series. So if you're familiar with the video game, it's going to be based on probably around the time frame of Fallout 3. And Amazon's doing this pretty cool series, which is now in production. So they have casting calls out, and they're hiring actors to go out and film for it. So I've got a couple of letters that I'm drafting up. They're filming right now in let's see, where are they filming? In Brooklyn, New York is where filming is going in on for Fallout. So I'm going to be writing to the director. It's going to be starring Walton Goggins and a couple of other people who are working on the production. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is just writing a letter to them saying why I'm a fan of Fallout, and I'm going to be asking for an autograph, basically. And usually, what I do is I'll send a photo. So maybe I'll just print out like a headshot of the actor or director. Maybe they have like a mock of the Fallout poster. There hasn't been an official like Fallout series poster released yet, but I'll usually send some kind of a photo out and ask them to sign it. So we'll see how that goes. I've already tried a couple addresses for the directors, and it's going to be produced by the same people who did Westworld. And if you've seen that series, I mean, it's a great series, so I have pretty high hopes for it. Yeah, so we're gonna see how that turns out. Unfortunately, the whole thing is you gotta kind of send out a good amount of volume. Like if you just send out one or two requests, I mean, you might get lucky, you might not. But there's a whole lot of letters that go out, and I never see them again. Sometimes they get returned to sender, and I mean, maybe about like 10% of them I get an actual response to. So um, if you're not sending out like a decent amount of volume, then I mean you're probably not gonna have a whole lot of responses in this hobby, which is kind of a shame. But a lot of these people that you send to, they got very busy schedules. Sometimes the mail, I mean, usually the mail might not even make it to them. It just doesn't get past the secretary. Um, so sometimes you just gotta try different addresses. Maybe a secretary at one place doesn't pass on mail very well, or they have a particular policy in place where they don't pass it on. So you gotta try a different agency, a different venue, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a bit of a trial and error there, trying to figure out where the best place is to send to. Now, let me see. Let's see. All right. Now I'm trying out a little different format here. I'm trying to stream on TikTok at the same time as YouTube, and that is causing me problems here because I can't see your guys' messages. All right. All right, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, you sent a message to Chicago Cubs before, and got that back. That's cool. Yeah, like a a lot of baseball players, sports athletes in general. Like if you write to the stadium, you can get like some good responses, and they get bombarded a lot actually. So people will sometimes take like a whole sports team and like send off like a big old bin of mail at the same time to a stadium, like with a one letter addressed individually to the player. Um, so, I mean, yeah, like people send to sports stadiums all the time. That's a great venue. Yeah, yeah. So I'm not. I'm like too much into the sports myself. I do a lot of celebrities. I do a lot of artists, like for Magic the Gathering, or people who are officially like official licensed Star Wars art, comic book artists, that kind of thing. Um, do sometimes video game creators and voice actors a lot. A lot of those people also do anime voice acting as well. So there's a lot of cross pollination there. But I'd say about a third of my collection is probably like Star Wars specific. So that could be either be the actors who are in Star Wars, or it could be people who are working behind the scenes. So with like any movie, of course it's you got the actor, but then there's like, 100 times more people who are working behind the scenes to make the movie what it is. I've had a lot of fun writing, in particular, like visual effects artists. You can find a lot of people on LinkedIn actually who are like affiliated. Like if you're a fan of the Marvel films, it's pretty easy to go onto LinkedIn. You can search by the company. So, for example, like Marvel Studios, you can find out people who work at Marvel Studios, or they contract a lot of the visual effects art, a lot of the visual effects work out to smaller visual effects studios. So you can find out, if you know who worked on a particular film that you liked, and if you liked the visual effects for that film, you can find out who worked on it, whether it was Marvel Studios proper or if it was one of the companies that's been farmed out to. And yeah, you can like kind of reach out, and not only is it good for like, hey, can you give me an autograph, but you can also like pick the brains of these people who worked on the projects that matter to you. So it's been really fun for me to, kind of do these Q and A's with all the people who are in the visual effects industry or model makers on Star Wars, that kind of thing. I've got some really good responses to my inquiries that way, and I've learned a lot about the industry and how the stuff works just by kind of making these connections and talking to people. Even though, I don't work in that field myself, but it's been enlightening for me to kind of learn about it secondhand by making these connections. Um, and so my favorite autograph, John just asked what my favorite autograph would be. I'd say my favorite autograph is probably definitely this one right here, the Mark Hamill. I mean, not sorry, not the Mark Hamill, the Harrison Ford behind me. Like as a Star Wars fan, Harrison Ford is probably one of my favorite actors. I mean, Star Wars aside, he's definitely one of my favorite actors from Indiana Jones and Love Air Force One. I mean, done all kinds of incredible movies. He's pretty much always been my favorite actor. So Harrison Ford for sure. Um, I've got basically all of the main Star Wars actors. Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, um, especially from the original trilogy, I should say, which is really what I like best. So those are kind of my favorites. Other than that, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a big favorite of mine. I did get the chance to meet him when he came here in 2017 to San Antonio. He did his first ever Comic Con there, and it was really great to meet him in person. When I actually met him for the photo op, and then there was a separate event for the autograph signing, and I mean, they really kind of get you in and out there. And the photo op was like, it was a blur. It was so fast. But I had a little bit more time with him for the autograph signing because I had two things for him to sign there. And I mean, all in all, like I actually recorded audio of me talking to him, and I felt like I had some time in front of him. But in actuality, looking back at it, it was about like a minute. And I think if you've seen the video that I shared on my TikTok about Joseph Quinn, um, from Stranger Things. Um, he was just at London Film and Comic Con, and there was a big controversy because the organizers, showmasters, they were basically asking or yelling at him to speed up his whole signing process because I think this might have been his first Comic Con, and certainly was since you know Stranger Things season 4 came out. So he had a lot of fans there who wanted to talk to him and spend some time with him, and he wanted to do the same. He was trying to reciprocate that and get some good one-on-one time with his fans. And the convention organizers were yelling at him to hurry up and sign faster. And not only like sign faster and spend less time with the fans, but they even went as far as to say, like, shorten your autograph. Like his autograph, just taking the time to sign the autograph alone was too long for them, so they wanted him to shorten it up and have a shorter autograph, which was um, crazy. So I mean that's like that's what the people are paying for him at the very bare minimum. They paid for an autograph. They should get a good autograph, not one that's cut down in size. Um, all right. Redfield asks, where do I get my frames? So I have like I did a whole article on talesfromthecollection.com about framing, and it's you can do them yourself for sure easily, um, but this one got done at Michaels. I think so did that other one. I got that one from a buddy. I think that also got done at Michaels, but you can easily do them yourself. I've done some by myself too. What's important is that you just get the right materials. And if you go to Etsy, you can get custom mats done, and you can get like a custom backing board done, and you just have to do a frame. So you can even do like multi-leveled mats as well. What's just really important is that you use acid-free materials on there because if you have acid in your matting or the backing board, then it's gonna over time the acid will make the paper or the photo or whatever you have that's framed up, it'll make it turn yellow and it'll get a little bit fragile and brittle over time. And a lot of these autographs can be quite valuable and expensive, so you want to spend a couple extra bucks to get a better, higher quality material so that in the long time your autograph doesn't get destroyed essentially. So go on to Etsy, look for custom mats. If you got an 8x10 photo, you just want a mat that's probably like 9x12 with an 8x10 cutout, and the cutout's going to be slightly larger than 8x10, but a mat cutter is going to know that. Um, so yeah, just look for a cutout, mat cutout with an 8x10 hole. Make sure it's acid free, and then just find a frame. If it's the mat is a 9x12, find a 9x12 frame. You can find one at Michaels or anywhere. The frame is probably like the least important part. What matters is the backing, and you want to get acid free there too, and then also the glass. And the cheapest option there that you're going to want to, that is okay, is going to be UV acrylic. So you don't want to use just regular picture frame glass because it doesn't block the UV rays. Um, so you gotta be careful with that because the UV rays from even a light bulb. If you got an LED light, I mean you're usually pretty okay. But if you got like your autograph in a room that has a window, you really got to be concerned about the UV rays because that can fade your autograph. And that's also dependent on the type of ink. For example, if it's a paint pen like this Harrison Ford, it's in probably like a silver deco paint pen. Those don't fade very well, or those don't fade very much when exposed to light. They take a lot longer to fade. But if it's something like a blue Sharpie, you're definitely going to notice fading if it's in direct exposure to the light. Probably within a couple of years, you're going to notice that it's already starting to fade a little bit. So you got to take all those things in consideration. Now, some people, are so worried about their autographs being damaged by being framed up that instead of just framing the actual autograph, they'll just do a high quality scan and do a print of their autograph. They'll keep the actual autograph in a dark space in a archival quality binder, and they'll just frame up, um, basically the copy, frame up a print of their autograph, and that way they can have it, they can look at it and not have to worry about it getting damaged. In the long run, that saves a little bit of money too because you don't have to be so precious about the materials. If it's just a copy, you can go ahead and use the acid backing and acid matting and not have to worry about archival or museum quality glass. Museum quality glass is like, you know, the best level of glass you can get. It doesn't have a glare, it blocks UV light, and it's the clearest. So that's the best you can do for glass, but it is also the most expensive. So I'd say the bare minimum that you're going to want to do is the UV acrylic. Um, and who has responded best for me? So, I mean, I'd say back when Kenny Baker was still alive, I wrote to him a number of times, and he was in the UK. I'm in the US, so I would send some letters across the pond, asked him some Q&As before too, and he responded to me a number of times. So, um, that was like really nice to correspond with him, and he would like sign cards for me. And there's always like, very dependable, reliable signers. I made a list of them on talesfromacollection.com. You can see the top 30 signers I think I listed there. Um, and even, some of them that are, my personal favorites from Star Wars would be Clive Revel. So he was the original Emperor before Ian McDiarmid had the role, and he was replaced in the special editions. So Clive Revel is a really good sign. He was also in the Batman animated series, um, and I mean, like, he gets a ton of fan mail, and just God bless his soul. Like the man just never, um, never doesn't respond. Like he's always must be spending hours a day responding to fan mail. It would seem. So yeah, there's always like really good people who respond, but the problem with saying like who is the best responder, they just get more people who want to write them because they're a guaranteed response, and then there's the danger of them getting fatigued. And there's been a number of people who at one time were like extremely good responders, and then they just got burnt out on it and no longer want to respond. So um, James Earl Jones, I would say, is an example of that. It used to be that he would sign, multiple items per person, and he could be relied upon to regularly return your stuff signed. But probably 5 years ago or so, he stopped signing. Um, and of course, he was the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars. Another Star Wars person like that was Frank Oz, who did the puppeteering for Yoda. Um, he used to be very good signing through the mail, and then his story is a little bit different. It wasn't so much the through the mail signing that got him burnt out, but it was seeing all of his items that he signed for free winding up on eBay. So eventually, he adopted a policy of dedicating all the stuff that he signed through the mail, like as a to stave off people selling it, like. So my name's Tim, so he would write to Tim, Frank Oz, and maybe write Yoda on there as well. So, the thinking was, if it's dedicated to Tim, I'm not going to go put it on eBay because, someone not named Tim probably won't want it. And which is true, like it's not as easily sellable if it's dedicated. But, I mean, people will still buy it. And, if it's someone like Frank Oz, people will still buy it. And, I think unbeknownst to him, a lot of people will remove dedications on photos. So if it's like a paint pen, you can use like alcohol to just rub it off, and sometimes it'll come off. It really is dependent on what it's signed on and what kind of pen was used to sign it. So if you have a dedication, I mean, I'd say if it's any kind of value, get it done by a professional, because I mean, I can't tell you how many I've seen where somebody just has botched an autograph, inscription, removal from a photo, and it like totally just destroys the photo. So I mean, you kind of got to know what you're doing if you're going to attempt that. But anyway, that's all to say that Frank Oz was signing for somebody on the street, and they requested that it wasn't dedicated. Frank Oz said that he would only sign it with a dedication. And the guy said, well, I'm just going to remove the dedication anyway. So that really pissed off Frank Oz. And from then on, he really just does not sign, pretty much at all. So, um, yeah. um, That is all to say that some people can be very good at responding to fan mail, but the habits can change over time depending on what their experience is, and if they feel like they're being treated fairly, if they feel like the fans are being genuine, it's not just like a reseller who's hounding them for an autograph and then putting it on eBay immediately. Probably they're going to be signing through the mail for a lot longer than somebody who feels like they've been exploited. And I mean, it's sad to say, but like it honestly does happen where people get exploited. Um, I mean, Tony McVeigh, he was one of those people who basically came out and said it like, I saw all my stuff on eBay. Um, I'm being taken advantage of. I'm not signing anymore. So yeah, I mean, it definitely happens. Um, Yeah, so let's see. What would work best for a frame? Um, Framing an autograph with a Sharpie. So, let me see if I can get this better. And, jeez. I got like two phones here, so my screen's being blocked, and it's hard to read these comments here. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, the best thing for framing, yeah, I would say I would just do it myself. Is how I like to do it. Because I mean, if you go to Michael's, it's very expensive, and sometimes, depending on how valuable your autograph is, I mean, if you have to spend like $300 on the frame job, um, I mean, that could be more than the autograph is worth itself. So if you want your autograph to be displayed, and you don't have just bottomless pockets, probably just do it yourself is what I would say. Um, let's see. Do you guys have any questions about how fan mail or through the mail autograph requests work? Um, Maybe any clarification on how to find addresses, or um, you know, writing to Broadway. There's a lot of big Broadway actors right now, or Hollywood actors who are on Broadway, doing plays in New York and some on the West End in the UK. I've seen a lot of responses from Daniel Craig, who plays James Bond, of course. He's on Broadway right now, and yeah, it seems like he just took a day to respond to all of his fan mail because I've been seeing like response after response, people getting their stuff from Daniel Craig back signed. So that's pretty cool. I sent him. Actually, I sent the stage manager there, the person who kind of runs the whole operation. I sent him a request asking for a playbill signed by Daniel Craig and the rest of the cast members of the play. So I'm hoping that sometime this week, maybe I'll get something. We'll see, because there have been a lot of good successes, it seems, from him. So definitely looking forward to Daniel Craig. Let's see who else is doing stuff right now. No, in yeah, I think Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was another one. He was doing The Music Man. He was on Broadway too. Um, so I know a lot of people wrote to him. I have yet to see responses from him on Broadway, but he has responded in the past. So yeah, there's still some hope for him. I think his production will still be going on for a little while on Broadway. Let's see. Yeah, you guys have any ever had any fan mail successes before that you guys could share? Like who's been good for you guys? And I would also like to know um, you know, when I'm making TikTok videos, a lot of times I'll do like an unboxing type thing where I open up the envelope and show you guys what the celebrity sent me. Um, and I also do a lot of stuff where something like a artist or someone has autographed CDs going on for sale, or there's like a signed book that's being put on sale by a celebrity, something like that. Um, Do you guys like seeing? Do you guys just like seeing the unboxing type stuff, or do you like seeing when somebody has a signed book that's going on sale too? Um, because you know, and I only get so many autographs in the mail. So I mean, I post them every time I get them, but I mean, there's just like you know so many celebrities who are either doing a private signing or signing a book um, that I can just post about that stuff all day, every day. Honestly, I mean, there's always something new, and I could always be doing. I mean, I'm only doing a fraction of that right now. Yeah, I did a bunch of videos on Elizabeth Olsen. She, just had her book come out. She did a children's book called Hattie Harmony with her husband Robbie Arnett, and I mean they were selling signed copies for only $20, and they were selling through Premier Collectibles, through an independent bookstore called Unlikely Story, and they did a signing with Barnes and Noble too. And at least two of those had also like live streams where Elizabeth Olsen got on there. She like read the book, did some Q and A's, and like if you bought a signed copy from those retailers, you also had an option where you could ask a question, send a question in to be asked to Elizabeth Olsen. I asked questions on both of the vendors, the Unlikely Story and Premier Collectibles. Fortunately, my question didn't get asked, but I thought that was a pretty cool option that they had anyway. Um, and Yeah, so I just got my copies from Premier Collectibles, and they look pretty good. They're signed on book plates. Um, However, I liked the ones from An Unlikely Story a little bit better because instead of being adhered to the book like Premier Collectibles was, it came essentially in the form of a 3x5 book plate with a adhesive backing, so you could either kind of use it as like an index card basically and frame it up, or you could put it in the book like as it was intended. Um, but I chose to keep mine out of the books, so yeah, I like that a lot better. I prefer mine to be out of the book so I can easily see it. If it's inside the book cover, closed up, it's a little bit hard to see. So um, yeah, I think that's my biggest problem with signed books is that they're not the easiest to display. Yeah. See, in the pretty near future, so August is right around the corner. We're gonna have a pretty big convention here in San Antonio. It's gonna be by PMX Events. It's like the superhero TJ Henry superhero car show, something like that. It's a crazy name, but it's gonna have some good talent there. Ewan McGregor is gonna be there, and I have an autograph ticket where I'm just getting something signed for a friend of a friend. But I'm just gonna use that opportunity to meet Ewan McGregor finally. I haven't got the chance to see him in person, so I'm really happy that he's coming to San Antonio. He was scheduled to come here like a year ago, and it was like still pandemic times. COVID was coming back, and the day before the convention got canceled, so he didn't wind up coming. So I didn't get the chance to meet him then. This time around, hopefully everything goes smooth, and I'll get to meet him in August, get something signed, and I'm hoping for a press pass as well. Had some pretty good luck with press passes. Got to go to Greater Austin Comic Con and Dallas Fan Expo with a press pass. It was like a really good time. Got to film some of the celebrity guest interactions and got some good stories on film. It was a pretty good time. Yeah. Yeah, so Ian McGregor is going to be there, but his autograph is like it's like $250 for the autograph, and then you got to pay like another $250 for the photo op. Um, so being in the autograph collecting hobby, it's really expensive, unfortunately. Like if you really want to enjoy it to the fullest extent possible, like you really just have to have deep pockets. Like even if you just want to wait for the stuff that like comes around locally, I mean, Hulk Hogan is there. He's charging like $300 per autograph. There's tons of people who are easily over $100, and like, that's just at one convention. Um, I had one convention this month, one last month. I mean, if you're over there trying to spend a grand plus a month per convention just to get the people you want who come, to your town. Not to mention the people who are doing private signings through autograph companies like, Star Wars Autograph Universe or Ace Comic Con. Like if you're sending in for those kind of things too, it's like, I mean, I don't know where people get the money. It's crazy. Um, so I mean, there's just like mountains of money in the autograph industry right now, and yeah, these companies are really raking it in. It's crazy. And like I was saying, Joseph Quinn, the Stranger Things actor, like his tickets were oversold by 400. So people were, the convention sold more tickets than Joseph Quinn had time to sign autographs. So there was a ton of pressure on him to basically not even look at these people, sign the autographs, and get him out the door. Um, Same thing happened with Ewan McGregor at Star Wars Celebration. Um, you know, there were stories about his line was just insanely long, and he didn't have time to talk to anybody. Like the most he could get out was like his famous line "Hello there," and that was it. That was the only interaction. They got a hello, and that's it. So um, yeah, it's kind of sad for me to see people putting all this hard-earned money into it, and then getting such a minimal return, all in the sake of some convention organizer getting the profit. So I don't know. It's good and it's bad. It's good because before conventions used to be looked down on like something that this is what you do when your career is over and you're washed up. Um, but that's not the case anymore because there's so much money in it. You get all this, you know, A-list celebrity talent that's coming to these conventions. So um, it's good and bad. You get the best talent, but you also now it's like it's so good you can't afford it anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what's better: having affordable talent that is not all that great, or at least maybe not all that great, but that is not in a right now current blockbuster film. But at least you can afford it and you can interact with them. I mean, I don't know. I almost think that's better, honestly. Um, so I'm not sure if it's been an improvement getting all these A-list celebrities. So yeah, who knows? Um, anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But appreciate you guys listening, and definitely shoot me some comments in the videos. Let me know if you guys want to see other stuff. Um, if you guys want to see videos in particular, have questions, you can always ask a question in my profile, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, appreciate you guys. Thank you.